Seahawks off to a 2-0 start after wins over the Patriots and Broncos. DK Metcalf, big 56-yard touchdown catch in the overtime victory over New England. Seattle's the only unbeaten team in the NFC West, but a couple of tougher tests ahead, starting with the Dolphins coming to town Sunday. Then it's a trip to Detroit. Two-time Pro Bowl wide receiver DK Metcalf joins us now on SportsCenter. DK, you're coming off an overtime victory over the Patriots where you were targeted 14 times, caught 10 passes for 129 yards and a touchdown. What was working on Sunday for you and Geno Smith?
Just the pass game in general was working. You saw I had 14 targets. Jax had a boatload of targets as well. But I think the fun thing is that you still have yet to see, Lockett get those amount of targets or Noah Fant to get those kind of targets. So I think the offense has many weapons that, a defense really has to study for and prepare for.
This is Geno's third year as the Seahawks starting quarterback after bouncing around the league. DK, what does he do so well in this offense?
Just his accuracy, I think is really what sticks out, as a receiver in this offense or in the previous years playing with him. So, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in this league. I think we're going to shock a lot of people as we did the first 2 weeks of the season.
Well, you're hosting the Dolphins on Sunday. They won't have Tua Tagovailoa. You'll be going up against cornerback Jalen Ramsey, who you used to face in the division when he played for the Rams. What's it like going up against Ramsey on each play?
It's just always a competitive, competitive scene or a competitive game any Sunday or Monday or whatever day we're playing in the league. This league has a lot of great cornerbacks. I just get to go up against, a lot of them day in and day out at practice and, on Sunday. So it's going to be a competitive game. Happy to go against them again and, may the best man win.
All right. Starring at Seattle, you were also a star at Ole Miss with Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown. And there's that famous picture of you guys both flexing together, showing off your abs. If we stack it up today, who's got the better abs in your mind?
Like I said, man, I don't speak for no other man. AJ's doing a hell of a job. We always have that friendly banter or friendly competition going on. He's a great receiver. Give my props to him because, he made me work harder. He was the reason once that we had at Ole Miss. But he's a great player and, wish him the best of luck on his road to recovery.
A ton of talent you mentioned in that offense, and then you could also see that right now at Ole Miss as they're currently ranked 5th in the country. Do you keep track on what they do with Lane Kiffin, Jackson Dart, and this team, especially how explosive they are on offense?
Yes, sir. It's hard not to. I was born and raised in Oxford, so it's hard not to keep track. He's done an amazing job of turning that.
Obviously, with the idea of the expanded playoff, too, there's going to be a lot of bragging rights on the line when they get into the conference schedule there. Okay, you went viral last year when you told Kevin Garnett about your diet that features coffee, then 3 bags of candy, and then dinner at night. With Halloween just over a month away, we need your top 3 candies. And let's start at 3 here. Do you have a top 3?
I like candy. I can't really, pick a top 3, as we speak right now. But no, I can't give you a top 3 right now.
Okay, then what's in the rotation right now? Is there ones, because I know you like gummies, right? Like, what's in the rotation at the top right now? The gummy Lifesaver still there?
Nah, blue raspberry lemonade Swedish fish right now.
Blue raspberry lemonade Swedish fish.
You can get them at the local 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, I need some, for giving y'all a little shout out right there.
But by the way, were you surprised with the reaction after that interview and how people talked about it, and specifically about just candy only and just 1 meal a day?
Yeah, because I think folks should just mind their business and live their own life. But, who am I? I like to eat candy, so what?
There's nothing wrong with it. Shoot, that's why my 10-year-old and 12-year-old love you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Hey, DK, we appreciate you joining us here on SportsCenter. Good luck on Sunday and the rest of this season. Stay healthy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Back with you. Really good matchup in Minnesota this weekend when the undefeated Texans visit the undefeated Vikings. Keep an eye on C.J. Stroud, the Texans' potent offense facing Brian Flores' Vikings defense. Houston head coach D'Amico Ryans addressing the challenges.
He's going to force the game to be hard on the quarterback. Right? He's going to force the issue, going to try to fluster the quarterback as much as possible. So we have to do a great job around CJ this week, just O-line, our backs, our receivers, everybody around CJ has to play really well, all right, to help kind of calm the madness that they present on defense.
Brock Purdy went through that as well this past weekend. Mina Kimes back to make us smarter. It's time for her Friday deep dives ahead of week 3. Let's start with the Vikings hosting the Texans. What are you watching for in that matchup?
Yeah, I'm so curious to see if Stroud could continue to make plays with Nico Collins outside of structure, because as Coach Ryan's talked about there, that's so important against Brian Flores' defense that's so good at changing the picture on quarterbacks. You saw that against San Francisco, their use of simulated pressures, disguised coverage. It makes quarterbacks hold on to the football and not get to their first reads. Fortunately for Houston, Stroud has been fantastic at that. And Nico Collins in particular has been so good on those scramble drills, working back to him. It almost reminds me of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. If they can connect on a few of those plays in this one, I think that'll help an offense that is facing one of the better and more exotic defenses in the NFL. In week 2, week 3, I expect Caleb Williams to bounce back from a very difficult matchup against the aforementioned Texans. What was so interesting about that game, the Texans do not blitz, but in this one, they sensed a weakness in Caleb Williams, blitzed him 42% of the time. He went 3 for 12 for 15 yards. Now, the Colts defense also doesn't blitz, but I am wondering, maybe they crank that up a little bit with DeForest Buckner now. They haven't been able to get much pressure, and I think there is an opportunity here for Caleb Williams to finally show that he is that dude. Finally, not many people are going to be talking about this game because Tua Tagovailoa is not playing. It's the backup, Skylar Thompson. And for that reason, I expect the Miami Dolphins head coach, Mike McDaniel, to lean heavily on Devon Achane, not just because of his ability and the need with the quarterback situation, but also because Seattle has proven vulnerable to runs off tackle. In fact, against New England Patriots, Antonio Gibson rushed for over 85 yards on outside runs. If he can do that, I'd be worried about Achane doing the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a healthy dose of this running back against the Seattle defense.
Fantasy managers hearing you. Achane ranking 3rd in the NFL with over 130 scrimmage yards per game. Mina, you're the best. Thank you. Back to college football. 3 ranked matchups on Saturday. USC's first Big Ten conference game comes in the Big House against Michigan. First meeting between these programs since the 2007 Rose Bowl, and the first in the regular season since 1958, so it's been a while. Utah taking on Oklahoma State for its first official Big 12 game matchup that features 2 seventh-year quarterbacks and coaches in their 20th seasons. Cowboys have won 7 straight at home versus ranked teams. Staying in Oklahoma, the Sooners making their SEC debut against Tennessee. College game day in attendance, a reunion for Vols head coach Josh Heupel, who was OU's quarterback when it won the national title in 2000. Speaking of quarterbacks, Oklahoma's Jackson Arnold and Tennessee's Nico Iamaleava were a part of a star-studded 2023 class that included Arch Manning. Shout out to Gil, our researcher, fantastic graphic. All 3 of these SEC signal callers ranked among the top 25 overall players that year. Speaking of a guy that loves quarterbacks and offense, college football analyst Dan Mullen here with us. We're going to talk a lot about Nico, and a lot has been made about him. But on the other side is Jackson Arnold, a big-time recruit. What do you think of him so far in year 2?
I think he's still coming into his own there. You have to remember now, Dylan Gabriel was there last year.
Yeah.
They let him walk out the door because they knew Jackson Arnold was the future and he was the man. Now, what he's done is he not only leads the team in pass yards, he's their leading rusher. His athleticism is a game changer. Now, he's relied on it maybe a little bit too much over the first couple weeks of the season. This Tennessee defense is special. They're not going to allow him to do it. But he has accounted for 10 total touchdowns so far on the year. He's going to have to do a lot for them this week because Tennessee, you know, is going to score points.
Yes.
And they have a really good defense as well.
They are absolutely incredible. By the way, that defense has yet to give up an offensive touchdown all season, the Volunteers. Okay, coming up later on tonight here, you're going to be at the half here featuring Syracuse and Stanford ACC battle. It's just weird to say. The Orange led by Ohio State quarterback transfer Kyle McCord, who's been fantastic. What do you see in this offense under Fran Brown?
Well, you see Kyle McCord, who's probably looking now as the best transfer portal player this season. Coming in from Ohio State last year, a lot was put on his shoulders. Why? Because they didn't win the national championship, or he didn't beat Michigan only. But he had a great year at Ohio State. He comes to Syracuse in each of the first 2 games, has 4 touchdown passes, thrown for over 350 yards. They've put him, and Fran Brown's created an offense to put him in a position to utilize his skills, and he's delivered so far this season.
Now the buzz is back at Syracuse. They've been waiting for this. Dan, thank you so much. Cannot wait to see how this